Hi everybody, this video is on the new moon in Scorpio that happens on the 28th of October 2019 at 3:38 in the morning, and that's based on UK time. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today and to give you this rundown on the new moon. New moons are wonderful things that a lot of people don't even pay attention to because the new moon in itself is very low-key. It's when the sun and the moon conjunct each other and the moon is totally pitch black, okay? So there's no moon. And it's a time to reflect, to recharge, to turn inward, to plant seeds of intention, to look at what you're going to do in the next cycle. And it's a kind of Control-Alt-Delete time, if you can call it that, where you kind of say, okay, that was a past, let's go, let's leave that there, draw a line, and let's set the intentions for the next couple of weeks, the next 2 weeks, or the next 4 weeks. Yeah, let's set some goals here. And the new moon in itself is recharging its batteries. It's pulling in loads of energy so that it can complete its cycle, and in this case it's pulling in Scorpio energy. It's a new moon in Scorpio. So Scorpio is the emotional detective. It's able to dive down and get to the emotional truth of things. Scorpios understand what makes other people tick. They are very emotionally intelligent, I would say. They're also able to, because they know what makes you tick and what motivates you, they can often influence your behavior by giving you incentives and manipulating you and things like that. Also, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, transformation and change, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So Scorpio is all about death and rebirth. So it's about healing. It's about facing the ugly truth and talking about it and healing it and resolving it. It's about turning the dark into light. It's about coming out of your cocoon and becoming a beautiful butterfly. That's how I see Scorpio and Pluto, because it is so transformative. So here we have a new moon which really allows you to transform your circumstances, your practical circumstances, by planting emotional seeds of intention about what you're going to do in future in an earthy, practical sense to take care of yourself. The new moon is at 4 degrees, which in numerology is security, stability, and structure. It's like Saturn. So your emotions, what you dream and desire, what you would like to do, what you've thought of doing for a long time, you plant those seeds now, you watch them grow over the next 4 weeks, and you can start seeing them come into your life and take on a life of their own. So if you've always dreamt of having a tarot business on the side, then you'll start to see that come alive once you start doing a couple of readings in the evening after your day job. If that's one of your goals, obviously if you don't care about tarot cards, then don't do that. If it's something that you feel very strongly about, and it's something that you've been guided to pursue for a while, you may not have had the time or the courage or the clarity to pursue it, but this new moon is saying, let's make another go of this, please. So, the new moon forms several connections with other planets. Venus is in the same house, but it's 20 degrees away, so by Venus. Venus has no influence, okay? The sun in itself is your identity, what gives you a sense of fulfillment and power and strength. So being in touch with your emotions today is not an option. You're going to be in touch with your emotions on the 28th of October, and it's a strength. Because you're able to draw on your emotional experiences and your emotional skills of dealing with the world, you're able to overcome difficulties and obstacles easily. Your moon in Scorpio makes you also emotionally resilient, intelligent, and also intuitive, psychic, creative, imaginative, and you have the ability to articulate subject matter which is abstract. You know, some people are very literal in their thinking, but in emotion like love, how do you draw that. That's what you're able to do with the Sun, Moon, Scorpio combo. You're able to explain an emotion almost. It does form several relationships though. So first of all, the new moon opposes Uranus at 4 degrees in Taurus on the other side of the chart. And what that says is these feelings and these ideas that you've been getting for a while, you can plant those seeds of intention and they will open up a new path in terms of your future, especially if you're someone who is employed. If you're someone who is employed in a steady 9-to-5 job where you get a set salary every month, you're going to get ideas of how to blow that situation up and to replace it with a different path that you're now going to follow. So let's say I'm working in a chiropractor's office as a secretary. I discover that I'm really good at mediumship. I've been going to a mediumship circle for, let's say, a year or 2 years. I'm ready to start doing readings. So I put a message out on the internet that I'm available and in my local area, and I start doing mediumship readings, and they go really well. So it turns out that there's a huge demand for mediumship readings, for example, and the income that you make with the readings suddenly overtakes the day job's income. Then, of course, you can make a decision, should I keep the day job or not? Because I don't need the money anymore, so do I enjoy it? You get to ask yourself that question. That is a great question to get to ask yourself when it comes to work. Do I enjoy this or not? And if the answer is no, then I can leave. What? Hooray! So you're really, if you're chaotic, your life, if your life is in chaos when it comes to your work, if your life is dissatisfactory when it comes to your working life, if your hopes and dreams have gone awry and everything's been twisted and turned out the way you didn't want it to, you guys are the ones who are able to now say, over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to do A, B, and C. You plant those in your flower pot, in your Scorpio flower pot, okay? And over the next 4 weeks, you see each one of those flowers blossom and bloom. By thinking about such things as employment, self-employment, work, daily routine, and physical health. Anything that has to do with the structure of your life. The way you feel about it is going to alter the way it looks. I mean, that's the rule of everything. Mind-body connection. If the mind is a mess, the body is going to follow. If we imagine wonderful wealth for our life and a happy future and unicorn and rainbows, most of the time, often, it manifests. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's not surprising that if you kind of set a goal here, excuse me, and take action based on your feelings, that you're going to get a practical outcome. But because of this new moon, it's saying if you take action during the 28th of October on your feelings, you're almost guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed, a huge financial success or a wonderful outcome when it comes to your daily routine, your work, or your physical health. So any of the guidance that you've been getting over and over and that you've been dismissing and swatting away, especially that guidance, that's the one you need to listen to, because that's repetitive and quiet and you have to kind of strain to hear it. If it's loud and urgent and like, do this, otherwise you're going to be in trouble, that's the ego trying to trap you. Listen to that still small voice that is telling you, take action in this way, start going on this path. You have like a space before you go back into the rabbit hole and you accept your fate. You're able to go down a different rabbit chute if you want. You get control of your life here today. The new moon trines two things: the north node at 11 degrees in Cancer and the midheaven in Cancer at 0 degrees. So you can only be of service to other people when you're of service to yourself. You are being of service to yourself during this new moon in Scorpio on the 28th of October, or at least I would recommend and suggest that you take the time to take care of yourself. Yeah, the kids want sweets for Halloween and money is tight and the husband is annoying and everyone wants something from you. But, you know, mommy or daddy watching, you can close the door and say, I'm not going to be disturbed for the next hour because I need to meditate and I need to think about my circumstances. And that's it. You have those boundaries for yourself. You can't help anyone else if you're run down, depleted, if you have nothing to offer. So you're really taking care of yourself today in a great way, because by trusting in yourself and planting those seeds of intention, work, daily routine, body, you are really going to be able to change your trajectory, your path, your destiny when it comes to your life in those areas. If you've always been obese and you've tried every diet there is and you've lost hope, today you will look at it again and you will say, I'm going to try this, and you'll see a very positive result in 4 weeks. I'm not saying it's all going to be gone, but you'll have done a lot better than you would have other times, okay? Because this is the astrology ganging up to help you and nurture you and support you and love you. So all of us around the end of October are going to feel quite fuzzy and warm and loved. And that's a great time to also hug other people and love other people, because there's not much conflict coming your way. The moon sesqui squares, which is 135 degrees away from Black Moon Lilith, which is at 19 degrees in Pisces. 1 and 9 is 10. 10 reduces to 1. So Black Moon Lilith is at 1 degree in Pisces. So Black Moon Lilith says, don't bother with anything spiritual. Don't listen to your feelings. You can't rely on your feelings. You can't live your life because of your feelings. You need a proper job, or you need security, or you need to do what your parents did. You can't listen to your feelings and do a job because your feelings say so. Ridiculous. So the ego is going to try and sabotage you by it's sitting on top of Neptune. The ego is going to try and sabotage you by poo-pooing all your dreams, okay, and saying you'll never make it. A book, please. You're never going to get a book. Okay. So we all have that voice in our head, that horrible little gremlin that says we're useless and we're never going to amount to anything. We all have it. Everyone has it. Turn the volume down on it. Listen to your feelings and emotions and say, do you know what, little imp? You can laugh all you like at my little dreams and hopes and feelings. But I take them seriously, and when I build my empire, I'm going to send you a ticket, because then you can come and look at it and you can see that what I believed had value and you didn't see it and you missed out, and that's on you, not me. So don't let the ego stop you, and don't let other people stop you either. They say, do you really think that's going to work? Bye-bye. I wish I was this concise in my own life, you know, like, because it's easy to kind of read the chart and to look at what would be ideal. But when I think of applying this then in my own life, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to, like, for instance, the last boundary thing, I'd be like, okay, I've got to get off the phone now, bye-bye. Because I know I'm gonna get negativity. I know I'm gonna get things poo-pooed. So also, share things with people who you know are likely to have a response that is supportive. And that's it. So it sesqui squares Black Moon Lilith, just to recap. It opposes Uranus. It trines the North Node and the Midheaven. And that is it. In terms of the chart on a whole, I'm just tilting it to see if there are any major aspect patterns. Sorry, no, I don't see any really. There's almost a trine, but it isn't. There's no square, really. Super squished. Nope. No T-square. Triangle of harmony, nope, that's something I made up. Oh, there is a T-square between the North Node, the South Node, and Mars. T-square is an area of friction, and that's really good. Your Mars is being turned off. His ego and his BS has been turned off, and his power and fire are being totally channeled into being nice and being sociable and likable and personable. Combined with his work ethic and the North Node's desire to be of service and to heal, the T-square really allows you, instead of people pleasing, to look at yourself for once and to stop saying, I've got to make everyone else cups of tea, I've got to make you happy, I've got to make you happy. No, today's your day to make yourself happy. And like I said, you know, these movements of the planets, I mean, the moon changes sign every 2.5 days, so that moves really quickly, okay? But the other planets, they move a little bit more slowly. And I would say that the build up to this new moon, or the wane to this new moon, and then when it starts waxing again, the 27th, 28th, 29th, I would take all 3 days into account and say this is a great time for me to emotionally control elderly, to plant new seeds, and to really go with them and see them flourish and watch myself grow. And I wouldn't bother too much with other people's approval. I think that's the thing to warn you about, that it's all about you, and if other people get involved, it's not as effective, it's not as good. Okay? So that's what I get for you for the new moon in Scorpio on the 28th. I hope you have a wonderful time, and that it gives you real insight, and it gives you a real sense of, okay, here we go, let's make this happen, and let's revisit this dream that didn't work out, because we know it's going to work this time. Yes, everyone loves a second chance, everyone loves a comeback, so go for it. Have a wonderful time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. If you don't have your time of birth for the astrology, because I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. Once I have that info, I draw up your chart and I can answer anything that's on your mind. If you're at a crossroads or you don't know what should happen next, I can look at all of that. So if you have any questions, head over to the website gregoryscott.com and order your reading there. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button, and if you really like the video, then please share it online with other people. That would be super nice of you, and I'd be ever so grateful. So I hope you have a wonderful time during this new moon. Lots of kisses, mwah, and I'll speak to you soon.